What's going on, guys? It's young voiceover Briss here.
NVDA contracts are about to be
I'm
hella
basically going to talk
grease.
about how
The
I
550s
executed
are
these
like 30
trades
cents. They're like 400
for
something.
Wednesday,
I
November
have I was
22nd.
just talking to Benji about it. I have the 510s ready. They closed at 13. I want to see what these open up at. 510s close at 13? Yeah.
So
Are
I'm
you
looking
sure?
to trade
You can go
Tesla here to the
Nah, they closed
upside
at 13. They just opened up at
at
3.
uh
Wow.
where was it? About 243, I think, into
Apple just ripped. I was
244.
thinking about that 192 level. Netflix pushing, but there is no way to play that.
Tesla's trying to push too.
NVDA also had earnings,
And
but
dude,
it's
keep
not
looking at
anywhere
five calls already
close.
from
I'm looking at it on
Tesla,
the side though.
just in case.
So one thing right off the bat you can notice is look at the candles on both NQ and ES. They're both very aggressive.
Yeah, I guess Tesla's the wave here.
So that is something to keep in mind, is that Tesla isn't necessarily as strong.
I'm in these. What a 245 calls, guys.
So there we go.
Tesla.
I got my entry there. I'm looking to scale out some at 244. So right there we hit it. I honestly didn't realize it kind of broke by like a cent, but I should have cut my position right here, or even before that. A couple of trades ago, I mentioned that off open, I personally prefer to keep it very tight, and that's what I didn't do here. So that's where I messed up, is by letting this have too much room. I should have cut it when this candle turned red. And I also should have scaled some out at the top at 244. So I definitely feel like I executed that pretty bad, but you know, it's still a pretty small loss. So it's nothing I can't make back. But like I said, on those plays right off open, if the momentum dies out, you should usually look to cut it right there, because you can see the size of that candle. It's very aggressive. And also another thing I mentioned is look at the candles on futures and then look at Tesla. So you know, futures had a huge green candle the first minute, and Tesla was just turning red to green. Futures are still green, and then now look at the Tesla red candle. So if you're looking at upside, that's a very big red flag, seeing that futures are pushing and then the stock that you're looking to trade upside is still struggling,
still interested in that.
or at least not pushing as aggressively. But like I said, yeah, I should have cut it sooner. As you can see, with a candle like that, the sooner you cut it, the better. I just messed up by holding too long. I think I took like a 12% loss, which really, honestly, should have even been break even. And you can see Tesla here is breaking low of day, and futures are still, you know, green here. So it's very bad to see that your stock is breaking low of day this aggressively when futures are doing the exact opposite. There's not a red candle on futures yet. But that was basically Tesla. Very quick. Usually those trades off open are very quick, just because the biggest moves are right off open. And then here I'm just looking at NVIDIA. It's not really set up for me yet. Oops, my bad. So I'm just speeding it up, just because there's not really much happening right here.
it keeps it's not holding above 41. It doesn't even get to 41. Probably gonna get out of this here pretty soon if we don't push. Got ES pushing, got NQ pushing.
NQ's taking a quick break here, but a small red candle, but NVIDIA just dropped $2.
So right now what I'm doing, I'm kind of just looking to see if there's any trend lines or anything like that NVIDIA is respecting.
Yeah, now we getting some.
I kind of drew that. It is showing that it's respecting. You see a lot of tests there. It attempted to break out, right now,
Sold half there.
but it rejected at that prior resistance area at about 402.66, which is actually the high on the daily
Might be
chart.
asking
So
for too
that's
much.
pretty interesting. But same thing with Tesla, how NVIDIA was, or how Tesla was pretty weak when the market is pretty strong. The market right now is starting to show its first red candles, and look at what it did to NVIDIA. So for me, the original plan I had was to get in at 490, but seeing this weakness here, I was personally looking to get in at low of day or even before that. Just because I felt like the opportunity and the risk reward was really good. It is, outside of what my pre-market plan was, but I'm seeing this weakness, and I feel like that is a good opportunity to capitalize, especially on a post-earnings trade. There's a good chance there's going to be a lot of big moves coming. So I want to see how this reacts to 497, 496, and that is where I would look for my entry. And it wouldn't be that heavy a position anyway, just because I am expecting a bigger move with it. So look at NQ starting to show some red candles, and then obviously look at NVIDIA's push down to low of day. So one stock is clearly weaker than the other. So right there, you break 497, green to red with momentum. So I'm in there. I'm in pretty light, and I'm already up a fair amount. Low of day is just breaking.
Wow, look at
so that's already 10%.
Oh yeah.
So this is good. My targets on this trade, I had a couple different targets where I wanted to see something happen. So I had 495, 492, and then 490 were my targets. Since I only have one contract, obviously I'm gonna have to pick and choose where to actually sell.
Yeah, I caught 40 cents.
But 495 would be the absolute minimum target. But
like 60
if
cents
everything
on the
worked,
started doing that, I was like,
490
"Oh,
would be
this is how
the
volatile
ideal.
this thing is right now."
But the only thing is that that's a pretty big move, so
Here on Netflix.
you can't always expect something like that. So you can see it bounces here, and so are futures, but I'm only down right here like 3%.
I don't think I'm gonna see
So
my second
I'm
target here.
I'm doing well. These contracts are doing very well.
But
So
then this is how it's moving.
I'm still gonna give it some room. My stop on this, just based off how contracts are moving, is probably 498.50, 499. So yeah, right here I'm down 4%. Not bad at all, especially since it's a pretty small position. $570 position. Now remember, my targets, I want to see 495 break. If that breaks with momentum, I'll try to hold to 492. If there's still momentum, 490. And then kind of watch what happens. So
for Tesla downside,
I'll give you a little
it's just not
teaser.
gonna work
I
'cause that
didn't
trend
really
there,
do
but NVIDIA
as good as I
490
thought I should have, but
is possible.
I'll
I
go
just
over
wanna see
my
if they let
thought
go of this.
process. during the trade. So NQ had a green candle, NVDA had a green candle. Something to keep in mind, they are kind of, if one's red, the other one's red. If one's green, the other one's green. So something interesting to watch. But we rejected back down to that low of day area under 496. So let's watch how momentum kind of drags us into 495 and the break of 495. That's really what's going to tell me if I can hold it past 495 or not. You see momentum's still looking good here. 495, boom, broke 50 cents. So I'm still holding because this is still, new low, new low, new low on every, tick. So that's good. We're at about 494 right now. I'm up over 20% here. 494 broke. And it's still going. So this is why I'm kind of just letting this run, because there's no reason to get out, especially with futures reversing here. Now here, we bounced a little bit and I sold. So that's where I messed up. Relative to the drop, that was a pretty small bounce. But I at least sold under my first target. So that's the one good thing I could say about it. But for the move, I should have gave it more room, to be honest. I sold on like maybe a 70-cent bounce or something like that, which is a decent bounce, but for the move I had projected, I could have held. So 492 is coming in hot. That was my second target. So let's see how it kind of moves into that. So you can see 50 cents on the bid, 30, 20, 10.
492.
So contracts here are already up an extra $100 from where I sold. So there's 492.07, boom, broke. And yeah, that's an extra 150 on the contract. This is what I was thinking to myself, like, damn, I kind of sold early. I just messed up by selling on that small little bounce, especially with the analysis I had, the post earnings, everything happening. But you can see this is just dying right here into 490. 490 break was my main target, and I mean, this honestly couldn't have been much easier of a hold. There was the one bounce where I sold. Other than that, this is a straight drop. So contracts here at 910. I sold at 680. And boom, 490 broke. So I could have made an extra 300 on the contract. So I could have made 400 on that. Almost 100%. Had I gave it a little more room.
10% stop as usual.
But yeah. So what I messed up on is selling on small bounce relative to the actual move. I was still green heavy, so I could have gave it room. A reason why I sold there is because I only had one contract. If I had multiple, I would have scaled out and held the rest for sure. But having only one contract makes it hard to do something like that. So for that reason, I kind of did a good thing by locking in my profits. But had I had more than one contract, obviously, I would have scaled out some there and then saw how 492 reacted. That looked very clean with no bounces to 490. So, that's a clean, from where I got in, like a $7 drop.
A good average here.
Those don't happen often. Or honestly, even more, $8.
There it goes.
$8 drop. But yeah, that's the post earnings, what news and momentum can really do to a stock.
Yo, look at the volume. Wow, 488.
But yeah, these contracts here,
God,
1020. I sold at 680. So yeah. I'm kind of just showing you guys how the actual trade played out. I'm going to start fast forwarding a little bit because it slows down here, but you can see how it slows down at 490. That was my main target. So that's that's why it's important to have your levels. So technically, from the lines I have on my chart, 496 to 490 almost, I had almost no resistance there. Um, all the targets that I had were from the past couple days, but the actual big levels, were 496 and then 490, and you can see based on the price action they showed respect. And also that trend line is pretty cool. I don't think most people saw that, but I did. And that's a little, H pattern if someone wanted to trade something like that for a quick scalp. But then again, if you hold that, then you're just right back into that range. Or no, actually it keeps going. But yeah, that was basically how I went from red to green on the day. I messed up on Tesla by holding for too long. That should have been break even. And I messed up on NVDA for doing the opposite, not holding long enough. So there's something to learn from both of those trades. Having your plan and sticking to it, and adjusting to what the market is doing is really where you can maximize your profits, minimize your losses. Because in this trade, I had multiple targets. Had I reacted better and kind of understood, all right, this is a 70-cent bounce versus like a $5 drop, I would have maybe held a little bit longer, especially since I was up a good amount. But regardless, that was the trade for Wednesday. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure you like and comment, and peace.